Good morning and welcome to the 10 a.m. daily weather brief. Taking a look at the latest surface analysis chart, we do have a stacked low over northern New England, and that is continuing to push off to the northeast, while we see some weak surface high pressure continuing to sit over the southeast, and that has brought us those cooler temperatures and dry conditions for this morning, but those are currently changing as we move throughout the day and increasing as that high pressure overhead drifts offshore, and that is changing our winds to a more southerly direction. So we'll see those temperatures boost up a little bit, and some gustier conditions will also follow as an approaching front comes, and that pressure gradient between the low to the north that we can see here is currently over northern Minnesota, tracks closer to the Great Lakes, and creates a tighter pressure gradient between that high pressure off the coast, or that will be off the coast, and that low to the north is also helping to push a cold front towards our area that is expected to pass through in the early hours of tomorrow morning and potentially bring us some low-end rain chances. As it does such, looks to be in the early hours around 1 to 2 a.m. at this time. And then behind that front, we'll see a drying air mass and some westerly flow that will keep those breezy conditions in place. Excuse me, and temperatures only slightly cooler until we see a second push of cold air come through on Thursday. And then we begin to see the pattern improve heading into Friday and Saturday, in which high pressure looks to build in from the northwest, bringing some cool and dry weather with lighter winds, and our lows looking to stay in the 40s and highs in the lower 60s. And then to round out the week ahead, looking towards the end of the week, a stronger high looks to build in south through Quebec, and at the end of the period we'll have an upper trough that amplifies over the more so central portion of the United States, and that will eventually shift the winds to be northeasterly by late Saturday into Monday, and that will keep our temperatures slightly below average with our overnight lows just a bit warmer, and that dry weather should continue through Monday until we see some slight chances return for precipitation moving into Tuesday. Looking at the 24-hour forecast ahead, we are still in the period in which we had some light cloud cover up to the north, but largely looking at clear skies for a majority of the day today until the later hours. We begin to see some cloud cover build in which it might turn overcast, associated with that frontal feature moving through early this morning, with some color on the board indicating some slight chances of passing showers, and then that cloud cover does look to dissipate once that frontal feature is moved through and that drier air begins to filter in. And for the winds today, starting off nice and light compared to yesterday at least, and then those winds are anticipated to slightly build in throughout the day, in which we approach those wind advisory criteria in the later hours of the afternoon and into the evening, before we see a gradual decreasing trend once that frontal feature has moved through. As for the short-term risk chart here, on Wednesday we can anticipate mostly sunny conditions with a slightly breezy tune to the day and a very slight chance of some lingering showers after that frontal feature. But those are low-end chances as of right now, so no color on the board there. And then a high of 66, with those winds at times looking to come close to, but currently sitting below wind advisory criteria. So a little bit of color on the board for awareness. And then Wednesday night looking to be mostly clear and a low of 46. And Thursday partly cloudy and slightly breezy with a high of 64. And then for the 7-day forecast ahead, we see today those mostly clear skies, clouds building in the overnight hours with a slight chance of rain. Then that cloud cover moves out, and we see mostly sunny conditions building to be partly cloudy on Thursday and progressively building in through the rest of the week to the weekend, in which Saturday and Sunday do look to be mostly cloudy before we see a slight decrease on Monday. And as for our temperatures, our highs today are going to be the highest of the week ahead and gradually decreasing throughout the 7-day period until we see a high of around 60 to 50 in the upper 50s for Monday, and our lows are generally going to be in the mid 40s for the week ahead, with some days, Saturday, the low looking to be in the lower 40s. And that is going to wrap up the 7-day outlook. Hope everyone has a wonderful day.